Well, more than 2.5 million Australians are choosing a meat-free diet, instead eating alternatives like vegan bacon, burgers and sausages. But new research has revealed these plant-based alternatives might be doing more harm than good, with some having as much as half the recommended salt intake in a single serve. To talk us through the vegan trend, here's Dr Joe Kostorich. Hi, Dr Joe.
Good afternoon, Tracy.
You would think plant-based, gluten-free, organic and vegan would be healthy, but it can be quite the opposite. Why is that?
Yeah, it's very easy to stick labels on something and sort of give it this sort of aura, but you really have to look at what is inside these foods. And we know that a lot of the issues we have today in terms of, with health and diet come from highly processed and manufactured foods. So for people, if they want to go down the path of being vegan, they can eat vegetables, they can eat fruit, they can eat chickpeas and lentils. You don't have to try and sort of convert it into something that it isn't. So when we're making this fake meat, by definition, we're trying to convert something that isn't meat into meat. And to make it in any way palatable and give it some flavour, well, they have to put in additives, they need to put in things like salt, they probably put in MSG. There's a whole host of artificial ways that you're trying to convert something that hasn't got any flavour into something that has, so people will buy it. It's a problem, it's a solution looking for a problem. There's no particular reason why these products need to exist other than trying to pretend that there's something that they're not.
OK, there you go. Well, what is the recommended daily salt intake and how can you make sure you're not going over that?
Yeah, interestingly, there are different sort of takes on this, and the Heart Foundation here and in America and the World Health Organization, everybody's got a different view. The biggest study that was done about 3 or 4 years ago showed that something like 95% of the population around the world take in between about 3 and 6 grams of salt per day, and that's absolutely fine. And when we're talking salt, we're really talking about sodium here. Now, for people who've got high blood pressure or heart problems or kidney problems, they may need to take less, but just for the average, in inverted commas, person, most of us manage quite well, being guided by what our bodies tell us. So between 3 and 6 grams is fine. Most people are averaging about 4 point something.
OK. Just quickly, what are the effects of eating too much salt?
Look, if people eat too much salt, it can affect blood pressure, although it's more an issue if you already have established high blood pressure. It can also be a problem if people have heart failure or kidney problems, because salt is excreted or removed from the body via the kidneys. And the other thing too, if we're eating too much salt, then often we'll end up probably drinking more, which of itself just flushes it out. But yeah, look, basically, it's not a good thing. If you have a little bit too much, you'll probably get rid of it, excluding those particular circumstances.
Okay. If you're interested in a vegan lifestyle, what is the safest way to enjoy this kind of diet?
Look, if you're going to be a vegan, own it. Eat the sort of foods that are non-animal based products. So you can eat vegetables, you can eat fruit, you can eat nuts, you can eat seeds, you can eat berries, you can eat legumes, chickpeas and lentils, and you have spices with it. So those are the foods that you can eat. And stick with them. This concept of fake meat or fake chicken or fake fish or fake something basically is saying, well, people actually really want to eat these foods, but they sort of want to pretend that they don't really want to do it. So why don't we go around this back door? No, own it. Eat those foods. Make sure, and this is really critical for people if they are vegan, they've got a very, very high risk of being deficient in vitamin B12, in iron, and potentially magnesium as well, but particularly B12 and iron. So they may need a supplement. But there are foods they can eat, and so long as they're not deficient, then that's something they can do. But please, and this is a personal thing, do it, but don't try and force it on everybody else.
Indeed, that's true. And Dr Joe, as you said, own it, right? So in any kind of diet.
Yep.
All right, Dr Joe, thanks so much for your time. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Tracy.